Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are right now. Thank you for joining the American Council on Exercise for this live webinar and panel discussion. My name is Jackie Crockford, and I am joined by three experts, what I would call experts in the field of family fitness and getting people moving. And they are an A team. We're excited to talk to them about how we can keep our families and our clients' families healthy during this time. So first I'm going to introduce Anna Woods. Hi, Anna.
Hello.
Anna is joining us from Kansas, and Anna is the owner of She Strength. It's an online app, and she trains her clients from their homes, so has been doing a lot already previously to the situation that we're all in right now with training online clients and specifically training busy moms, right, Anna?
Yes.
So tell us just a little bit about your business and kind of the clientele that you typically work with.
Sure. Thank you guys for joining us. So I have an online fitness program called She Strength. I train clients virtually from our barn, and we live in the middle of Kansas where there's not a lot of access to gyms. So I opened up my business to train moms who work out at home, who don't have a chance to get to a gym, don't have access to a gym, or don't have time to get to a gym. So we spend a lot of time talking about how to work around kids' schedules and kids being at home and how to fit your workout routines into that madness that all of us are experiencing now. Yes.
Exactly. Thank you, Anna, very much. And next we have Brett Klicka. Hi, Brett.
Hi, everybody.
Brett, you are the founder of Spider Fit Kids, and tell us a little bit about what you do and how you are keeping folks active right now with your programming.
Yeah, so Spider Fit Kids, we've been around for about 4 or 5 years, and realizing 4 or 5 years ago that the resources available to fitness professionals, and even to some community fitness leaders, whether they be with different organizations or coaches, realized that the resources available weren't really relevant to today's kids. And so we went back to the drawing board and we collaborated with pediatricians and physical therapists and fitness professionals and coaches, and we came up with a model of youth fitness that highlights the power of play. And it's not just a matter of throwing games at kids. There's a lot of research behind it. And what we've done in the last couple of years is we've partnered with major national youth sports organizations, schools, and we've provided certification services and workshops for fitness professionals to really give them the tools they need to inspire the kids they work with to be active and athletic for the rest of their life, using in what we've termed the power of play. So it's just engaging kids, and right now we're engaging families with the idea that fitness doesn't have to be something that happens in a little box and with machines and things like that. And just getting up and moving and getting back to the notion of, man, movement feels good, play feels good, and a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening to the brain and body when you're doing it. So we're excited to share it with the world. We have the opportunity to work internationally now. So we've had a lot of fun.
Great, thanks, Brett. We're going to be coming back to each of our panelists here to learn a little bit more and talk about some of the tips and tricks that all of you can use to help keep your families and your clients' families active. But let's meet our third panelist, Kathleen Tooley. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I hope everybody already got in their morning exercise and have taken their dose of endorphins. So Box Kids is a free physical activity program that was started by myself and a group of other moms about 9 years ago. It will be 10 years this fall. I read the book Spark, written by Dr. John Rady, and I was really inspired by all of the evidence that he showed that, you know, as little as 15 to 20 minutes of exercise, getting your heart rate to 60 to 80% of your maximum heart rate, has the exact same effect as taking a little Prozac or Ritalin. And I thought, well, you know, we're not only are we dealing with obesity in this country, but even the bigger problem is mental health. And so if it's that easy to give kids some endorphins to help them deal with their day, do better in school, increase their confidence, why don't we start a before school physical activity program?
Thanks, Kathleen. We're having just a little bit of audio trouble here, so we'd want to get into some questions for our panelists about what they are doing, what they're seeing in the area of family fitness. So Brett, actually, I'm going to come to you first. I know that you are kind of offering some online programming right now for parents to sort of step into the role of PE coach. So let's talk about that and what it is that that you're offering and how we can help our pros maybe offer something similar or some of the resources that you can share there.
Yeah, and we all know, a lot of us here, a lot of fitness professionals, our moms and dads. I have a 6-year-old in the other room right there, and all of a sudden we've gone from just being a mom and dad and doing our work and doing our thing to now we're a teacher and a PE coach and a sports coach and all these different things. It's a hard transition, and so we wanted to make sure to offer some resources for that. So what we've done is we've opened up the Powerful Playground, and that's our membership site. But we've opened it up for free for everybody. If you go to the just powerfulplayground.com, it's a database of, I think there's 300 and something activities in there, and you can search the database. So that's just a quick go-to research or go-to resource. Also, spiderfitfree.com, we have a download that shows you, hey, here's the method behind the madness. It looks like it's a bunch of play, but here's what's actually happening. And also, we created I discovered this in the first week that I was home, that it's great to get these resources, but by the time I'm doing my work and help my daughter do her schoolwork, being a teacher and a dad and someone who's working, I don't necessarily have time in my day for that. So I really valued anything where I could say, okay, give my daughter something that occupies her for 20 or 30 minutes, and I could go get some work done or make a phone call or something. So what we did on our Spider Fit Kids Facebook page is we created Follow Along PE for your living room, and we do it every day at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. And kids literally just follow along with Coach Brett here for about 25 minutes, and we've created all kinds of things around that. So I share that with you. Those resources are available to you to either, you can use those resources yourself, you can get parents to use those resources, but look at those resources and use those yourself with your clients. I put it out there. It's for you. It's for us. Watch the Facebook Live with what we're doing with kids and replicate that with your own people. This is not a situation where it's, oh, don't copy. No, this is a resource I put out there because right now there's families in need, there's parents in need, there's kids in need. I invite you to take what we've offered and go out and run with it.
Thanks, Brett. And you mentioned something that I think is really important. You've programmed around the play, which is important for all of us right now. And I know that you've dug into the science behind it. Kathleen, I know you've done a little bit of the same thing with the Box program. Kathleen, can you share with us a little bit around the scientific backing that is within the Box program, and then we'll hop over to Anna and talk a little bit about some of the practical things that parents can do with their kids at home. Kathleen?
Yeah, absolutely. And because of the feedback, I don't know if you heard the last part of what I was saying too, but yeah, it's similar to Brett too. We created all of these online resources as soon as COVID-19 started to happen, and we also have the Facebook Live classes every day at noon EST time, Eastern Standard Time. And we also have on our website, boxkids.org, we have a landing page with a bunch of at-home resources that include not only all of our curriculum for free, but nutrition nuggets and what have you. And on our website, Jackie, you'll see we've published all of the results. So early on, we saw the need to prove the importance of exercise, not just our own program, but let's really create change, behavior change across the US and try to prove that we needed to bring back physical activity to every kid every day, and school being a good place to do it. So we partnered with, the first group we partnered with was NIOS, National Institute on Out of School Time, out of Wellesley College. And then we also were approached by Mass General Hospital and Harvard School of Public Health on doing a long-term study on 2,500 kids that were in the Box program. And we followed them over 2 sessions, and we saw that there was significant improvement in behavior, especially there was a decrease in anxiety, decrease in depression, an increase in academics, And the kids were just happier and more confident. And even the stories just from the teachers and the parents about, these kids can now sit through class, they sleep better at night. So, ultimately, our hope is that we have enough evidence and we have enough demand that we see that our school structures actually changed, and that we've reimagined education, and we bring back physical activity to all these kids, because our research through Dr. Elsie Taveras and MGH has proven that kids, especially kids with adverse childhood experiences, really benefit from exercise. So it's been great to have the backing, and obviously Dr. Cedric Bryant from ACE is on our advisory board, and he's a big proponent of this, and we hope to continue to do additional studies to the point where eventually, we've created change, and we have every school, is having physical activity or PE, and it's just as important as math, science, or English.
I think everybody on our panel and everybody listening could also agree how important physical activity is for our kids, for sure. So thank you, Kathleen, for that and for the research that your group is doing. Let's hop over to Anna Woods. So Anna, I know that you, like you mentioned earlier, have an at-home fitness-based programming that you send your clients. Right now, especially, those clients are being joined by kids maybe at home. So talk to us a little bit about maybe some tips that you can offer if I'm a personal trainer, if I am offering online programming right now, and all of a sudden I've got little ones also that need to be incorporated into that. What do I do?
Yeah, those are great questions, and I feel like I've spent a lot more time coaching that side of it, and one of the first things I tell, especially the women that I coach, is don't give up your own workout time. Like, don't pass that up. It's kind of like the airplane analogy, where put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help everyone else. So I encourage my ladies, especially, get up early, or find a way to get yours in. We talk about chunking the workout time, so do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 at noon, and 10 in the evening. To take care of yourself first, because you're going to be more patient with your children as a result. But a couple of things I recommend is, one, when my kids were younger, especially, we had a workout toy box. So if mine were too young to participate with me at that time, I had a toy box that was put away that was just pulled out when mom workout time was. So it had games in it, it had puzzles, this was way before electronics, but they had like videos that they could watch that they only got to use when it was my time to work out. And that would buy me at least 30 minutes typically, as long as there weren't any distractions. And that was something they looked forward to. So that was a lifesaver when my kids were younger. As they got older, I just started communicating to them. I have kids with special needs, so we have to have a very structured schedule. And so when I would put our schedule on the board, I would write mom workout time, 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Like, they understood this is when I worked out. This was the time I respected them to respect my time. And that was just kind of grown with them. And I still put that in my schedule now. They already know that that's my time, but it's also put in there as a time. With that, then I say, let me finish my time. The last 20 minutes, you can come in and work out with me. So I have gotten them, we filled PVC pipes with like beans and put caps on the end, so they have their own little barbells. We use sidewalk chalk a lot for their agility ladders. I let them participate in their own way. I'll let them come up with the cool down, or I'll let them come up with the warm up. As long as they respect the time that I request for my workouts, they get to reciprocate that on their own. And I let them design it. With social media, they've gotten excited about, okay, can we go live with our friends and encourage them? So those are other incentives that we use a lot to motivate others too. So.
That sounds like a lot of fun and maybe a lot of work. Is it a lot of work to kind of organize all of that? I know you've got three little ones at home, or almost little ones.
Yeah, well, the teenager doesn't think any of this is cool, so she really doesn't want a whole lot to do with it. But the two younger ones, for sure. It's part of our routine now, so maybe at the beginning it seems a little bit crazy, but I don't feel like it's anything out of the ordinary that we're already doing for all of their schooling already. So
great,
definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, so let's talk about implementing some of those things again, and Anna had some great tips there. I'm going to come back to Brett and Kathleen here. Either one of you want to share some tips? I know, Brett, you're doing a lot right now, going live and doing the online workouts. Why don't we start with you about some tips that you can share that parents and or our fitness professionals who have clients with their kids at home can help integrate those kids into their workouts?
I think so. Anna brings up a good point, and just because it's this time, a lot of the times a workout for parents is our sanity. So to completely blend it all and just be like, oh well, for the next unforeseeable amount of time, I'm just gonna have a kid hanging off me when I'm doing squats or whatever it is. We do have to protect our time because that whole oxygen mask thing is important. But to integrate kids into your workout, having opportunities during the week where maybe it's what we have done here is when you give your kids the autonomy to do things on their own, kind of like Anna brought the point to, it's amazing what they come up with. And so when I go to exercise, I will literally, we have a box here and it's full of cones, it's full of jump ropes, it's full of sidewalk chalk. Order those things just on Amazon or order them through an organization, have them around the house, just have them. Cones, think about that. They're colorful. Kids automatically think cones are cool. They'll figure out things to do with them, jump ropes. If you have these things sitting around and kids know what to do with them, it just gets them excited. And I can say, okay, go to the box, do some things. Obstacle courses. This is something that I've had so much luck with my daughter. So I showed her how to set up obstacle courses a long time ago. So, okay, set up 3 cones, we're gonna jump, and then you're gonna run backwards and do 3. Well, she will spend an hour setting up different obstacle courses for herself. An hour, especially when the weather's nice and she can go outside. So that has been my go-to for truly integrating. And then she'll come over and she wants me to do it with her, and it gets us involved. And that way, it is important. The same notion, it's important that we as adults protect our time. When we are willing to have fun and play these games and do these silly things with our kids, it shows them that exercise isn't just this regimented thing that we do for 30 minutes to burn X amount of calories and we have to do it so we don't gain weight. And it says, hey, no, I do it because it feels good. It makes us laugh together. It's part of their family experience. When they think back someday, they're going to remember those times laughing with their parents and doing those different things. And at times like this, regimentation, sometimes we got to loosen up the regimentation a little bit, realize going for a walk. Now, I've seen more families going for walks than I ever had. If that is a tradition that continues after this is over, that's just a win all around for the health of our entire world. I mean, particularly in America, that's not something we do a whole lot of, is go for walks with the family. I've traveled all over the world. That's more of a thing in other countries. If we're willing to just do these fun, non-regimented things with our families, man, that is a true win across the board for everybody.
Thanks, Brett. I definitely agree that even going for walks can be something fun to do with the family, right? So the weather hopefully is starting to get nicer out where people are now. So getting out of the house is something that we can all hopefully appreciate with our families. Kathleen, I'm going to come to you now. Brett and Anna have both kind of talked about, a box, like a toolkit, if you will, that we can, have in our house and get out. And this is the resources that we're going to use for our kids to help them play and have some fitness in their daily schedule. I know that you have some resources and maybe some tips on what do we do with the things that are in that box? How can we, teach our kids what to do with them, or teach our clients or ourselves what to help our kids do with the things that are in that box?
Follow up on what Anna and Brett were saying is that I think most importantly is leading by example. So I think that if your kids see you moving and having fun with it and enjoying it, then they're more likely to do it. I also think routine and structure to the day, like every day at noon you do this, or every day at, my family's gotten into the habit that after dinner we just walk to the cul-de-sac. It's not a big walk, but it's part of our routine and it's getting out and it's nice. So we, as far as like making it fun too, with kind of tools and equipment around the house, like not everybody has access to all the equipment. So sometimes we kind of make it fun and we say, pick up that bag of kitty litter and do squats with it. And I think to me, the number one tool that's important for anything is music. So the more you can incorporate music, the more fun you can actually have. Like and I see it with one of our Facebook Live trainers did a dance to Cotton Eye Joe, and the amount of comments we had and people that reached out to me saying, can we do that again? Can we do it again? Like, to make it fun and almost create a little competition of the kids talking about, like, did you do the Cotton Eye Joe? And so it's kind of fun to, make them realize, that you don't have to be a super athlete or a sporty kid to actually enjoy fitness. And that might be, to Brett's point of, like, it's amazing to see the amount of people walking out now that neighbors you never even knew you had, and all of a sudden everybody's walking. But I also think, the sporting goods industry failed to some degree in creating this culture of spectators. And we need to reverse that and create a culture of participants. And this pandemic has created an environment where we all need to be participants, and everybody needs to get out and move and have fun with it. So I think kids and parents are realizing that, what, I'm not doing this because I'm going to be LeBron James. I'm doing this because for my mental health, I need to move for 20 minutes, and maybe it's going to be more fun if we do it together. Maybe if it's fun if we do a TikTok video out of it, which I don't even know how to get on TikTok, but incorporating that social media component. So, and having the older kids act as trainers. So a lot of the times in our schools, and even now, we're having the teenagers lead the classes, because that's who really, if kids see the parents doing it, we're not cool, or at least I'm not cool. But so incorporating kids as well. So I think it's all about flexibility and making, leveling the playing field.
Thanks, Kathleen. That's a great point about getting some teenagers involved. And Anna, as you mentioned, you've got a teenager at home. And we do have a question coming in from our audience around how to get kind of some of the older kids involved. If you've got, kids that are elementary school age, middle school age, and then high school age, there's a range of interests, right? So any tips that you guys have about getting some of those preteens or teenagers involved? Kathleen, I think you had a great one there about having them maybe be the leader of, some kind of activity for the other kids that are in the house. Brett or Anna, would you want to chime in with any other tips that you have for those older kids?
Yeah, I think with older kids, and Anna, to your point earlier, mom and dad aren't cool, with the older kids. But one thing being said, and this is more of a general thing, not as acute, but if that has just become part of the culture of your family all along, the odds that they're going to be finding ways to be active now, if they played a sport, or maybe they just are, your family is just an active family, they're probably going to stay active now. But when you look at, as kids get older, there's a lot of research done on how they were able to drastically decrease the number of teens smoking years ago. And teens are very tribal, and teens are very into what are their friends doing, what is that? So encouraging and finding, doing some research as parents, or even sort of behind the scenes organizing with parents, sort of a Zoom workout group with the kids, or just getting them to engage in the platform that they're accustomed to. Because what won't work with teenagers is parents saying, did you work out today? Here, you need to work out. Oh, come work out. You need to get off that. That doesn't work. So how are we going to engage them through the platforms that they're naturally engaged with, whether it be social media with friends, or finding someone that within the industry that everyone respects, and that works with teens. Todd Durkin has a tremendous program out now for teens. I mean, there's all kinds of, there's these people that have these great programs. And so it's doing some research and finding people that if you're someone, if they won't do what mom and dad says, who will they follow? And find some of these positive role models. And it's tough not to crack, but it's crackable.
Anna, did you have anything that you wanted to add there around getting teenagers involved?
Yeah, kind of to piggyback on what he said, I know for my personal experience, my daughter's on Instagram, and so her thing lately has been challenges. So like this weekend, there was a 3-minute bear crawl challenge. So I did it, and I was like, all right, see if you can beat my score, and it was kind of this going back and forth. And of course, for them, everything needs to be projected on social media that you actually did it. So it was tagging our friends, tagging, I beat my mom in this. So friendly competition always goes over really well. Reward system goes over really well. I control her phone, so she gets so many minutes on social media a day, and then when that time's up, I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to figure out how to fill that time in other ways. And so we'll joke about, for every 30 minutes of Netflix, you got to get outside and go do 15 minutes of some sort of activity. And so trying to let her choose what that looks like, but also put some boundaries on it. And then also just like letting her dictate what that looks like. Because the other night she hadn't done anything all day long, and at like 9 o'clock she's like, let's go for a walk. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go out. But that was her choice, and she was motivated to do it at that point. So I was going to be willing to do that. So kind of letting her dictate when and how that looks, kind of like what Brett was saying. You can't force that on them, but when they want to be motivated and want to do it, definitely be super motivating and encouraging in that respect. So.
Great, thanks, Anna. Another question that is coming in now from our listeners, and if you're watching and listening right now, don't be shy. You can use that questions box on your GoToWebinar dashboard and type your question in for our panelists there. Hector, thank you for your question. And I'll just address it to the three of you. Kathleen, maybe I'll come to you first. I know you guys are already doing some specific times of day that you guys are hosting workouts through Box Kids. But are there any times of day that work best for youth programming, especially maybe with parents that are homeschooling their kids right now? That's something that we all have to consider if we have kids in the house and are worried about schoolwork as well. So Kathleen, I'll kind of let you take that one first if you have any suggestions or what you guys are doing for those hours of homeschooling time.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And actually my team and I kind of really went back and forth on what is the ideal time. And, because our whole program was based off the premise that you exercise in the morning before school to do better in school the whole day, right? But then we also wanted to make it open to the West Coast as well. And so what we do is a noon Facebook Live class. And then what we find is that we have a good amount of viewers at that time, but most people will use it, will take it, it's on YouTube after, and they'll watch it, later, or they'll do it the next morning. So I don't think there's a magic time, Jackie, necessarily. I think that you pick a time that, and let people know it's out there and you can use it. Ideally, for me, I truly believe in exercise, the science is behind it, that if you work out in the morning, that's the best time to do it, to kind of jumpstart all of the endorphins, the dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine. So to me, that's the most important time to do it. But we also realize that, with COVID right now, nobody's figuring it. I mean, everybody's still trying to figure out a routine. I know my kids' schools just got online training about 2 weeks ago, online schools, classes. So I don't know if there's an ideal time. I think you kind of pick one and then make sure, my thing is you stick with the routine. You try to stick with the routine for your kids. I also find personally, as the day goes on, I lose motivation. So Anna, 9 o'clock at night to go for a walk, I would have been like, I would have gone because it was my daughter, right? But I just find that, so if your daughter's willing, if anybody's willing to do it at any time, you can do it. But I also think that if you have littler kids, it's, morning is best, and you set up a routine and you put it up there and let them do it.
Thanks, Kathleen. Brett, did you want to weigh in on that one?
Yeah, and I agree. I think that if you try to figure out the perfect time, you're going to get paralysis by analysis. If you're looking to help people, just get it out right now, and we're going to figure it out over time. There's so many dynamics to this. We started ours being at 11 a.m. West Coast time, just because that, I'm trying to do the math. Okay, on the East Coast, what time is that going to be? And what's people's daily routine? And then then I thought, well, maybe we shifted that because now some of the kids are having at-home schooling, and really it comes down to pick a time, be consistent, and maybe over the weeks and months that this pans out, we may, as long as to listen to the people we serve, which is one of the most important things about being a fitness professional, listening to their needs, we might arrive at a time that is more ideal. And some of you, when you're putting stuff out there, it might just be to your clients, it might be to your list, and so you're going to have way more info and intel on what they specifically need. But when it goes out to the whole nation or the whole world, we have kids in Kenya following our program. I don't even know what time it is there. You know, it's just a matter, and it's very important, like Kathleen said, record it, get it up on YouTube, post it on Facebook or whatever, so that it's available outside of that live experience. In the 2 different times that we have done so far, there's been no change in viewership. It's almost exactly. So I don't got any hard data. You know, there's no hard data. Just get it out. Just get it out. Start listening to your people. Go from there.
Great. That sounds perfect. So a little bit of trial and error, it sounds like, just getting the information and the content and those practical tips out there for our clients and for our clients who have families and kids at home. Let's talk just a little bit. We've got a couple questions coming through on that obstacle course race. So Brett, you mentioned this earlier, setting up an obstacle course race for kids and helping them to do that, you know, maybe during a time that has been the planned time for the family to, you know, be active. Let's talk about some things maybe that we could use in the house. If we don't have that toolbox of kind of fitness related material to set up an obstacle course race with, I'll come to you, Brett, first, and then maybe Anna and Kathleen, if you both want to weigh in about how to use things that are in our homes to help set up an obstacle course race, or have our kids set up obstacle course in their time.
Well, the cool thing about obstacle courses is that investment of time you take to show the kids how it's done. That 20 minutes you take to do that pays dividends, because then after that, they just run with it. You say, hey, go set up an obstacle course. Let's see what you can come up with. So chairs, especially like kitchen chairs that have 4 legs, they can go under them. They can go over them. Anything that they go under or over, chairs, tables, pillows are amazing balance devices, especially if you have very fluffy pillows. Now, don't take your decorative pillows from that. I want to not talk about my wife. But like the pillows that are maybe not the best pillows, when they stand on those, they wobble. So those make good, they go from one to the other. They're wobbling, things like that. Cups, not glass cups, plastic cups or Tupperware, make good cones and markers that they have to jump over or run around. If you have chalk or sidewalk chalk, those make a lot. I mean, sidewalk chalk is probably my favorite outdoor piece of equipment, because you make agility ladders, like I was saying, you make little lines they have to follow. So then I give my 6-year-old a piece of sidewalk chalk and tell her to, now she's drawing. That might be an hour that she's occupied doing stuff. So those are just, look around your house. If you got little boxes, if you have a refrigerator box or a box from something you ordered, they can crawl through it. They can sew boxes, chairs, tables, pillows, cups, all those things all of us have. And kids' imaginations just explode when they see that. And it just takes a little bit of us showing them and then kind of challenging them. Oh, let's see if you can come up with something. And say, you put together an obstacle course and I'll come back in 30 minutes and I'll do it with you. And make sure you have a timer too. Yep, kids.
Yeah.
30 minutes, you're on your own. That's it. But those things have worked for me.
Great, thanks. Anna, do you want to chime in there? Any other tips for the obstacle course race setup?
Yeah, we just did this the other night too. We've done it a couple times now, and the kids we have hardwood floors, so we use duct tape or like tape on the floor. We made balance beams, and then we did X's to hop over things. But my kids came up with this one. They got 2 huge blankets out because we have a really long hallway, and so they were pushing each other on the blankets down the hallway and then turning around and pulling them back. So we went up and down, push, pull, and then they figured out how to go sideways, and then they did crawling, and I didn't lead any of that. That was all their idea, but we started out with blankets and towels. So that's become their favorite thing in the evenings now, is mopping my floors for me, but also pushing and pulling my kids up and down the hallway, which is a fun tool also. So
Perfect. That does sound like fun. I might have to involve my dog in that game a little bit. Kathleen, did you have anything that you wanted to add around the obstacle courses?
So similar to what Brett and Anna said, I mean, we definitely, a lot of our curriculum involves obstacle courses or relay races, and incorporating those household objects, the red cups, the cardboard boxes, the blankets over chairs to make a tunnel. As I mentioned, with some of our trainers will be our teenage kids, and you'll actually see in the next upcoming weeks that we'll have some teenagers leading the classes through an outdoor obstacle course. We've also had a lot of success in the chalk wall, in the sidewalk chalk, and creating like kind of hopscotch or baseball diamond type things. And it's cute to see the people walking through the neighborhood, even the elderly that are doing it. So, you know, I think it's fun for the kids, especially the younger they are, to incorporate those objects. And my gosh, I mean, a cardboard box can give hours and hours of, you know, of entertainment to a kid. So the more cardboard boxes you have, the better, I think.
If I could just really, Kathleen, one thing you said there with, you see the people in the neighborhood doing it. I really, one of the side effects of our live thing that we've done at the PE in your living room, I did that just for the kids, and I'm silly, and it is a kid. You watch it, and you're like, oh yeah, this is for kids. I get Facebook and email and all these comments from parents being like, that kicked my butt. And it's a bunch of games. It's a bunch of silly stuff. They're sore. These are workout people. They're doing this stuff.
No, I mean, it is funny. We get people sending us videos from their living room, like, look at this. You know, there's a little lady with a walker and she's doing the actual hopscotch. I mean, it's just, I mean, these are the silver linings of these times.
And it's a great point too, that when we work with our adults, to realize, boy, regimentation, and we need to have our programs designed and things like that. But man, throwing some fun in there and novel challenges gets them excited and can challenge the neuromuscular system. So it's cool stuff.
And you know what we just we're about to come out with live in the next 2 weeks is we really saw the need for the elderly to move, and they're the big loneliness factor. So we've created an elderly curriculum where the kids can interact with their grandparents or a neighbor or something. And you know, you see it out on even on the hopscotches or the sidewalk chalk. So yeah, I think there's lots of positives to this as well.
That's great. So this is an opportunity. We have an opportunity here, if we choose to look at it that way, to help engage our kids, their parents, their siblings, teenage siblings, and it sounds like even our older adults, grandparents who are in the house with us during this time. So before we wrap up here, again, I want to thank all of our panelists, Anna, Brett, and Kathleen. I'm just going to have you guys, each of you, just kind of rapid fire down the line here. I'll start with Anna to say any final thing about getting kids active right now, any tips that you would want to deliver, and then also if you can just say any links and information that you would want to share and resources that our professionals can glean from you. So Anna, I'll have you start. Any last words for our listeners, and then what are some of the resources?
I think my best tip that I've been giving everyone is not to overthink it. Like they were saying, the idea of playing, we get such a regimented, it needs to be an hour, we need to do cardio, we need to be on a treadmill, and that is not the case. One of the things I have been doing this week is telling them to pick a theme for the day. This is going to be your theme for Monday, this is going to be your theme for Tuesday, and then figure out an activity related to those. Make it very simple, don't overthink it. If you don't get it done, it's okay. We have to let go of the all or nothing mindset right now, and just do the things we can do. So make it fun. That's the best part. We all need that right now. But for me, like I said, most of my programming is for busy moms and educating them how to get their workouts in with kids at home. So everything on my website, shestrength.com, that would be where I would recommend you to find out more about my programs. So
thanks, Anna. Brett, I'll come to you next.
Yeah, I think it's such a great point is what's going to help us get through this and keep our families and kids active is let go of the reins a little bit in regards to what exercise has to be and what it should be and what's defined, and get back to playing. It's so encouraging when my daughter and I do go to parks and we see families playing wiffle ball together and things like that. So if you wanted to get more active as a family, think, could you extend play so it just makes your heart beat a little bit faster? But one of the most important things is to create that environment within your home that inspires kids to play. So it's showing them how to use common items around the house to make obstacle courses or to interact with, or if you have the opportunity, order some things like cones or sidewalk chalk or some of those things that do get kids excited, because it's amazing what they come up with on their own. So I think those are key points for all of us to not only get by right now, but to thrive with our family's health and to help our clients thrive as well. So if you want more information, like I said, we have a lot of free resources. If you go to powerfulplayground.com. It is free. It is hundreds of activities that you can do with your kids. It's a database. Also, spiderfitfree.com. We're offering some education, some different things like that. And also check out our Facebook, Spider Fit Kids Facebook page for the live PE at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Watch it, see how we do it. Feel free to replicate it to help your people. So we're in this together.
That's right. Thanks a lot, Brett. Kathleen, I'll come to you last.
Yeah. We have a lot of resources on our website, www.boxkids.org, with a landing page on free at-home resources, and you can download our toolkit, which is easy. We are coming out with new content every day, as I mentioned, some of the curriculum that's forthcoming soon. We also have it in Spanish, French, and English. I'm really excited about collaborating and creating more tools. I will also mention that both Reebok and Adidas have created fit hubs that have all sorts of free fitness videos as well, more for the adults as well. But keep an eye out on our stuff, because we will be involving some assets and athletes down the road and maybe creating some fun competitions with incentives. So I applaud Anna and Brett for what you guys do. I'm excited to actually look up both of your programs as well. And thank you, Jackie. This has been wonderful.
Thank you all. Appreciate everyone's time here. As I mentioned earlier, if you are with us right now, you will be receiving a follow-up email. You'll also see a recorded version of this posted on the ACE Fitness Facebook and YouTube channel, where you can find the ability to watch this again. We'll also be sending out a blog recap with all of the links that our panelists have talked about and all of those resources, so that you can use those and send them to clients and just find out what works best for you in order to help your family and your clients' families stay active and healthy during this time. So once again, thank you to our panelists. Appreciate you all being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us. That is all we have today. Make sure and join us again next week. We have another live webinar with Anthony Wall, who is a longtime ACE professional, and we're going to be talking about how to keep seniors active as well. So thanks again for watching. Let's keep people moving.